This morning, the growing mystery surrounding the death of an American influencer while she was vacationing in Tanzania with her fiance.
We just want the truth. We just want to know what happened.
The parent.
Hey guys, hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So if you have not watched the news, you may have missed the story about Ashley Janae, who is a social media influencer that was found unalived. And they said at first that she had hanged herself, but later on more information came out that that wasn't the case. This story was really hard to watch because it reminded me so much of Shankella Robinson, where, you know, something happened to someone and they couldn't really solve it. It feels like it's going to be one of those, really. So it's disturbing because it really speaks to Black women's lives not being important. Because if somebody can take you somewhere, use you how they want, and then unalive you, it says your life is not important. And that's really what gives me chills. They said that, you know, since this whole story, this guy has not even mentioned he's supposed to be fiance on his Instagram at all. It's just really disturbing seeing social media and how many young girls are getting BBLs and tummy tucks to attract wealthy men. One of the things I'm so proud of myself for is growing up, my mom taught me that you have to be careful when a man gives you money. You have to really be careful because somehow you're going to pay for it. I'm not saying that all men have bad intentions, but a lot of men that give money, you're going to end up as a woman paying for it in some way. You've heard the stories where a lot of young girls were being flown to Dubai for men to do really disgusting things to them in exchange for money. So this generation of women and the desperation for money is just like, it's really concerning. Your life is so precious that nobody should play with it. You shouldn't just hear money and just take off and not question anything. You know, remember the story of the Nigerian girl that was also like scammed because she saw a blue-eyed and blonde guy and she just was like, ooh, you fit a certain lifestyle, a certain stereotype. So I'm just going to go along with you no matter what. No questions asked. It's like some parents really need to do better with teaching their daughters and their kids, way more stuff, because money is great, to take care of your bills and to enjoy life. But you should not go after it if it puts you at risk. You shouldn't. You know what I mean? The amount of young girls that are just offered money and they just take it and run with it without no questions asked, not thinking, oh my gosh, what does this mean? They just take off and go do whatever. I remember when I used to be on dating apps back in the day, a lot of people would, offer me, oh, I'll give you $100 to do this. Oh, can you meet me at a hotel so we can do this for $20? And to me, that was like, okay, so you must really think that I'm desperate. And also, maybe you've had experience in the past before to think that it's okay for you to offer me $20 for me to risk my life. That spoke volumes to me. A lot of times it was just a lot of weird men that are just offering money for some strange stuff. And it's just like, that's how you view me. Maybe because I was a Black woman, maybe. That's literally what that spoke to me. I must be desperate. I must be willing to do whatever for this $20. You know what I mean? So it's really disturbing, It's like this guy planned everything. So when people were watching Instagram and seeing, the proposal and all the wonderful things, they were thinking, oh, wow, she's so lucky. She met a wealthy man that cares about her, loves her and all that. But no, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was all a part of the plan. All this information that's coming out about this man is really disturbing. A lot of women are speaking up and said they've had some kind of a interaction with him. And he's been to Africa multiple times. So this whole thing was planned. And one of the things that I noticed is that more and more men are now watching a lot of women's Instagrams, studying them before they go after them, So they kind of have an idea of who the person is. So you don't randomly meet somebody anymore. It's kind of like, oh, I already watched your Instagram. I saw this, I saw that. They might bring you like coffee or flowers and you think, oh, that's sweet and thoughtful. No, it's because they saw that you like coffee and flowers. So they bring it to you. So it's very manipulative, calculated, that in these times that we're in, you have to be so careful as young ladies. You have to be so careful. Really. Because there's people out there that don't care about your life and they want to take it. They see you as something they can use and drop whenever they don't want to anymore. you know I just think, like, man, as Black women, like, wow, we have to really be careful out there, because there's people that view us as like less than. Our life is not precious. you know that's really what I think. So just watching it just reminded me of the stories that I've heard where young girls have risked their lives for money, for the luxurious lifestyle, for the designer handbags. You're willing to do everything. If a man is bringing money left and right and buying you all this stuff, you don't even question, like, where does he work? What's his story? And also, they were saying how this man doesn't even know Ashley Janae's family very well. It's kind of like everything was kind of hush hush for a reason. He wasn't interested in knowing her and getting, marrying her and all that stuff. No, she was gonna be used for whatever it was gonna do, because they found out that he was with other women and he was having like the freak offs like P Diddy or something like that. People were bringing that up, and I'm like, this guy literally watched her Instagram probably and studied her and was like, oh, this is a perfect candidate. She looks like she would be willing to do anything for money. It's really sad, and I've just been like shaking my head at the TV, like, here goes another story of another young girl. Here we go.